This is The Pretty Fix, and I am celebrity makeup artist Melissa Murdoch. I've been doing makeup for over 16 years. My goal with The Pretty Fix is to teach you literally everything you want to know about makeup, including how to feminize your face using highlight and contour, which is the tutorial I'm going to get into today. Just as a disclaimer, I am speaking in some really broad, general terms. Obviously, as humans, we do not fit into certain boxes with our aesthetic, but I have to use these terms in order to communicate some general ideas that might be helpful to everyone. Also, me making this tutorial is not a statement on whether or not somebody should feminize their features. That is entirely up to you. I'm just creating it to have as a resource. So without further ado, let's get into it. Before I begin the demonstration of contouring and highlighting, let's talk about what it is exactly. So contouring is using a deep or shadowy shade to make things recede visually and appear smaller, whereas highlight is using a light shade to bring things forward and make them look larger. So when we use these two components together, we can actually create a 3D effect that makes it appear as though your bone structure has shifted or your features are a little bit tweaked to be more feminine. Typically, male faces are larger than female faces. They tend to be wider and also potentially longer. So using contouring and highlighting, we can shift the focus to actually bring those features in a little bit to appear smaller, rounder, and fuller, which becomes inherently more feminine visually. In order to contour and highlight, there are a few products and brushes that you will need. I really recommend using a cream contour. They are available in multiple different shades. You might see some come in a palette. What you might want to consider is trying to find a contour that lines up a little bit with your particular skin tone. So when you see a lighter contour color, if you are pale, you should go for that, and vice versa. If you have very deep skin, you do need a deeper contour, which is kind of common sense. To apply this contour, I would recommend using a flat-topped synthetic or duo fiber brush. Also, you want to have a concealer that is several shades lighter than your skin tone. That is what we are going to use to highlight with. We also want to use a small synthetic domed brush in order to apply this highlighter. As we begin contouring, we're gonna pick up a little contour product on our brush and start buffing that in a circular motion around the perimeters of the face, starting at the temple, moving up onto the forehead. Contouring around the top of the forehead is actually an excellent way to help visually lower the hairline, which is more feminizing. Men tend to have a higher hairline. Also, as you're contouring, you want to bring that underneath the cheekbone a little bit and down across your jaw on the side of your face there. It's almost like you're making a number 3 with an indentation at the temple, underneath your cheekbone, and at your jawline. Now, if you're somebody who has a very strong jaw, you do not necessarily want to enhance that by contouring beneath your jaw, but if you do have kind of a softer jawline and want to bring a little more shape to your face, you can contour a little underneath your chin. All you have to do is keep doing circular motions, making sure that your contour is really nicely blended. You want to be able to see it, but you don't want it to be overpowering. So there's a fine balance there. You're going to get better at judging this the more that you practice contouring. Just keep building up the contour wherever you need it, kind of assessing your own features. After you do the perimeter of your face and kind of reshape the angles that are there, you can knock off the edges of a square chin. So if you're somebody who has kind of a square jawline or a square chin, you can use contour going across those areas to kind of soften those angles a little bit. Also, contour just a little bit underneath the tip of your nose. That's gonna visually shorten the length of your nose. The reason that we start with contour is that it will help hide it and make it look more like a realistic illusion if we put it beneath foundation. So on top of your contour, you will need to apply your usual foundation that you typically use. So it should match your skin tone. It could be a liquid, whatever you prefer. Just make sure that you apply that over your entire face. Do not leave the contour on its own. It is not a makeup product that stands alone very well. You wanna make sure that you cover not only your entire face, but underneath your jawline as well, if that is an area that you contoured. To highlight our face, we're really focusing on applying a lighter shade of concealer to the center areas of the face, which will bring the focus there. It'll also add a little fullness, roundness, kind of dissolve some of the angles that are typically present in a male face. So all you have to do is pick up a little bit of product on your brush and start in the center of your forehead in between your brows. You want to create kind of a circle there, staying away from the edges of the face, just to bring the focus in towards that part of the forehead, which will help it look a little less wide. After you do your forehead, make a U shape, kind of a soft U beneath your eye from the inner corner to where the tail of your brow is. That's kind of the area that you want to fill in with that lighter colored concealer. And just make sure that you keep buffing in circles until you see the edges of that product disappear. You can also apply a bit of this shade all over your eyelid up to your brow if you want. That makes a great primer for any eyeshadows you're gonna do. It also just kind of opens up and brightens up that area. Contouring on the nose can be a little bit tricky, so I prefer to highlight in order to refine the nose's shape. Contour often just looks really apparent on the nose, so if you're a beginner, this is going to be especially useful to you. All you want to do is make a little stripe down the center of your nose using that lighter color, just right where the bridge of your nose is. The last place that we want to highlight is beneath our lower lip, which will help refine the shape of the chin to be a bit more petite and a bit rounder. So just make kind of a soft U shape beneath your lower lip, staying away again from the edges of the face, especially if you contoured there. Now that your contouring, your foundation, and your highlight are complete, you do want to set this makeup in place. So all you have to do is just dust on a little bit of loose translucent powder all over your face, and that will set the makeup for you to do anything else that you want to complete your makeup routine. I really hope that this tutorial was helpful to you. Please subscribe to this channel so you don't miss anything else that I have coming your way. Also, please give this video a like and head on over to the full Pretty Fix website, theprettyfix.com, where I've got way more makeup know-how. I've got a beauty dictionary, I've got upcoming makeup classes, I've got makeup advice that comes out every week, and much, much more.